Hey YouTube, this is Mark from Northeast Indiana, coming at you on April 1st, and this is no joke. I'm trying something new, and I'm going to bring you along for a ride. I am going to take, see if I can get this, and turn it into So this wood I'm using is, I believe it's called Spalted maple. Maybe it's called wormy maple. This is from a tree in our yard. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to use this. I actually, the other day, was playing around with this piece of wood and found a worm in it, a grub in it. And this gray material is just like all their dirt. Who knows what that is. But this is beautiful. If I could figure out a way to incorporate that in with that piece of walnut, it's going to look nice. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to get on another piece of maple, see what I got. I don't think I have anything salvageable out of here. I might be able to salvage this, but that's not really going to give me any of that like I like. But we'll see. So I don't have a jointer. I'm trying to get my side straight by using the level. I watched, I can't remember who it was on YouTube. They gave that idea and I was like, great, I can do that. Works really well. However, with these smaller pieces, you gotta be really careful. Let me see what I can pull out of the wood pile. So literally, I keep all my cut-offs, scraps. This is part of that maple. That might work. But when I refer to the wood pile, this is what I'm generally talking about. So this piece of wood came out of this piece of maple. I call it Spalted maple. Excuse me, I gotta wear a mask. I call it Spalted maple and maybe wormy maple. I don't know. I'm not a woodworker. I'm just learning this stuff. I pulled this chunk out of the scrap pile, but it is just under 6 inches, which is what I need. I don't think this one's going to work. So my thought is to try to break this down a little bit more. You can still see a lot of the worm tunnels in it. I really like this. I don't know if that's gonna pick that up. These marks in the wood. So that's one option. Go there, or this is another piece of maple, not quite as wormy. And this is just rough cut, chainsaw cut. But this heartwood looks really nice, and I may end up using that. I don't know. Guess I'll figure it out and we will see. So I broke that piece down that I was just showing you. And I think I have a decent block. This is rough cut, obviously. Got that there. So I'm going to focus on this side of the block. But look, I love this grain. That'll really pop. So let me see if I can get this all squared up and see what we end up with. Okay, so after many minutes of fiddling with the saw and this piece of wood, I've got 3 pieces that I think I'm going to use. This one for sure. This one for sure. And this one has some holes in it, but the way it's going to be glued up, you're only going to see this edge Yeah, it would be this edge. Has the most little character to it. So I may incorporate 3, not sure. Definitely got 2, so I'm happy with that. Now on to the walnut. So this is pretty much what I have roughed together. You got to glue it all up, clamp it up tonight. 3 pieces of the spalted maple, 3 pieces of walnut, this piece of walnut. I kind of just did a round over with my router, which I got to plane this down. I'll hit that again. I'm going to round over the sides on all this, and should come out pretty good. I'll try to put a little bit of a curved corner on the edges here so it's nothing sharp, and we should be good to go. But basically tonight what it's going to be is this roughed up, glued up, clamped, and I'll get into it tomorrow morning. So there we have it. It's all glued up. I got some brad nails in to kind of hold it until I could get it clamped. Got it clamped securely. Gonna let it set overnight. Gonna come back in, plane it, sand it, route it, stain it, be done. See ya in the morning. So we're back in the shop, and you've just seen a couple clips where I've worked on planing this cutting board and sanding it. It's turning out pretty nice. I need to do some more work to it yet, but pretty happy with it so far. Had a couple of hiccups. Little piece of walnut chipped out, and I had to actually trim it down a little bit. I'm not a woodworker, so like I say, I just learning by experience here. So, but happy with the way that the wood looks together. And this is really going to pop once I get a finish on it. But I started with 60 grit on the orbital sander, then started hand sanding at 80 grit, 120, 220, and I think that's as far as I'm going to go. I think I am going to route these edges just to take the sharp edge off. I got to redo this hole, just round over the hole, and that will be all the major work. And then I'll go back and touch it up with any sandpaper that needs to be done, and then I'll finish it and show you the end product. Pretty excited. All right, this is what I got. Put a little edge on there, rounded that over, rounded this bottom end over. Just kind of made it easy for your finger or thumb to get in there. Now I just got to get all the dust off it, use some microfiber, and put some oil on it. So when staining, I see guys often using something underneath to kind of hold their piece up, and it's often like a little triangular thing to not mar the finish underneath. I don't have any of those. I ain't got time to make any really quick, so I just did this with some old nails. I'm not going to be pushing down hard on anything, so I'm going to let that sit up on there so it dries. I don't know if that's a tip or not, but it's always for what it's worth on this station. Spalted wood looks amazing. Wow. Look at that. Look at that jump. Just jumps right out at you. On this bottom side, I got a little bit of worm tunnels. I'm just going to leave it on there for character. And we'll switch this over to this side. See how I can do it. I'll put those stand or whatever you want to call them that I made under here after I get the whole thing completed, so I can let it dry. And I just want to get a good coat of this oil. Excuse me. Oh, this oil. If you're wondering what I'm using, it's boiled linseed oil. Wish I'd have done that on that machete handle that I made. That looks really sweet. That's really nice. Gotta get in this hole here. Get all that in there. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Look how pretty that is. It's really nice. I'm gonna finish this up. So there you have it. I'm very happy with this piece. This piece turned out so much nicer than I dreamed it ever would. One little tip I want to share with you guys. A little Q-tip dipped in the oil will get in these crevices here. You can also use that if you have a dowel hole or something like that. But here you are, finished product. Little cheese board, cutting board, I don't know what you want to call it. Spalted maple, walnut, display board, cutting board. It does have some character. This is all cut off stuff, and I discovered when I was planing, I didn't hit these, but when I was planing, I discovered 2 brad nails in there. So it has a little bit of character, but the wood, this maple wood, Spalted maple, is from our own property, so I think my wife will appreciate that. I'm just really pleased with how it turned out. I'm glad you guys made it this far in the video. If you did, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, subscribe. I'm just a everyday guy who doesn't know a lot about everything, trying to do just about anything. And so like I say all the time, guys, don't be afraid to try. This literally is my first time doing this, and it turned out, for me, it turned out exceptionally well. It is not a master woodworker's piece, but I am so pleased with this. So don't be afraid to get out in the shop, try something new, because more often than not, you're going to do a good job. Don't be afraid of failure. All right, we're going to catch you on the next one. Cheers.